Well, hello there. It's been a while, hasn't it? It has been a couple of months, I think, since the last live stream. I have been busy. I have had COVID again, bloody thing. I've had sinusitis as a result of having COVID, and I've been busy with cars and stuff. But I'm back. I'm going to ask you guys a little bit later on how often you would like live streams. I don't want to do them weekly, but monthly, fortnightly, every 2 months. Is that too little? You guys tell me. But it's nice to be back in the saddle. Well, at least in my dining room chair, looking at you, lovely people. I'm going to see who is here. We've got a few. Looks like we've got a few attendees. So yeah, thank you for bearing with while there's been an absence of beards and bangers live streams. So we have got, and I have to keep doing this. We have got Fluffin Eck. Good evening, Julie. We have got Pingu, and Pingu says, Guten Abend, die bärtige Rob, the bearded Rob. Very Guten Abend to you also, Pingu. And it's nice to hear from you in writing. Simon is here saying, evening, Robettes. Is that like Tourette's, where people walk around going, Rob, just randomly? Or should one not make jokes like that? I don't know. Matt is here saying, phew, or pew, made it. Cheers, Simon, for the reminder. Well done, Simon. And well done, Matt. And Matt greets everyone by saying, good evening, one and all. Simon's inquiring after his tea. Adam is here. The good Dr. Evil. Good evening, Adam. How are you? It's been a little while. I don't think I've really caught up with you since Shed Fest, which seems like ages ago, but it's only like 2 and a bit months ago. Simon is saying stuff to Matt and Adam. Pingu saying stuff to blah blah blah. Adam is on to. I think last time I did a live stream, you turned up just so I was saying goodbye, which I kind of feel bad about, even though I've been rabbiting on for probably an hour and a half. But yeah, it's nice, Adam, that you are here, and maybe you can tell people about your adventures as well. But yeah, it's nice that you're here at the beginning. Everyone's saying hello to one another. Pingu says that he's back like. Sorry, Simon says he's back like M&Ms. But is that peanut M&Ms or is it the regular M&Ms? Because I bloody love peanut M&Ms. My waistline does not. People are saying hello to one another. Blah 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 blah. Matt bids me to stop getting COVID or you'll go everything weekly. I've only had it twice that I know of. And both times it has not been the actual COVID that's knocked me for six. It's been the after effects. So yeah, bloody horrible bug. Really horrible bug still. Simon is here. We know you're here, Simon. We know you're here. We know you're here. Mark is here. Bad Books, aka Mark, or Mark, aka Bad Book, should I say, saying good evening or good evening, Mark. Austin Carter Fell is here saying hello, Rob. Hello, Austin. Simon's missing a spanner. Are you talking as Simon or Norman? Because Norman's definitely missing a spanner. Yes, do weekly. Oh God, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to. Oh yeah. There you are. Simon now is a moderator of this chat, which is well, we'll see what happens. If swearing's allowed, then we know who's let those swear words in. Where had I got to before I started clicking buttons? Matt greets Dr. Ebil. 1 million K series engines. People are saying hello to one another. Pingu asks me a question. How is Ickle Bram doing? Ickle Bram is currently on a lift, awaiting his sill repair. Um, yeah, so yeah, gonna make get Bram looking rather nice. And Austin's very kindly found some panels for me because I'm sure you probably know that the boot mounting panel in a Rover R3 is basically four bits of metal coming into one and forming a tray. And they're not made, so sills are really easy to get hold of, but you cannot get the boot panel. And I was trying to get I don't know whether it was Bad Books or you, Ping, or someone on one of these live streams, maybe earlier this year, said, speak to British Motor Heritage, speak to the likes of Gaydon, see if you can get a pattern and get the panels fabricated. But the patterns just aren't. No one knows where they are. So the suspicion is that they've gone to China with the tooling and various other parts that went there. Because of course the R3 platform lived on in China as the MG3SW. So basically a rebadged um, Streetwise. It looks like a Streetwise. Yeah, it is a Streetwise. So my guess is they've got the patterns there, and other people have, yeah, sort of said that's a very likely situation. But yeah, Bram is going to be having a little bit of work, maybe this side or maybe just after Christmas. Austin is doing the work, so he's the man to ask. So he will tell us, no doubt, how when things are going to move forward. I managed to get from Ed K an MGZR exhaust manifold, downpipe, and genuine cat. So that's going to get put on. That's going to get hooked up to a Yan Speed stainless steel centre pipe and rear box. So it's going to sound nice. It's going to breathe a little bit better because the ZR160 exhaust manifold's a little bit better flowing than the BRM one. So that'll just open his lungs up a little bit. But yeah, hopefully Bram's going to be all right. And then it's down to little odds and sods like the headlining. What else needs doing? Yeah, just general kind of tidying up, really. We're still got to try and find out why the rear wiper motor's not working and why the heated rear window comes on by itself, even when the car's powered down. So I think this time last year, Austin kind of rebuilt the wiring going into the back of the car, but that's not cured it. So there's obviously something else going a bit wrong with the electrics getting to. So they're fine getting into the back, and there's power getting down there, but there's something not telling what's to happen. So it could be relays, I don't know. But yes, Ickle Bram is getting there. He's in the dry. And hopefully I'll be back out in him again soon. I've tried to sell that car 3 times, and each time it's either not sold or I've not got what I wanted for it. So I think that's Bram's way of telling me you're staying with me. Yeah, the bodywork's not too bad, given that the car spent 23 of its 24 years in Scotland. I'm pressing things and things keep popping up on the screen, so I do apologize. Matt says, can't believe no one got footage of the expedition camper on Saturday. I don't know what the expedition camper is. Matt, you will need to tell me and everyone else what would happen. Simon says, can you imagine if they did coffee M&Ms? That sounds really nice, although I'm not supposed to drink coffee anymore because my blood pressure is very high still. And it went really high at the beginning of last week. So I ended up in A&E. Yeah, was I in A&E? Yeah, I was at A&E for a little while. They were just checking me over because my blood pressure went through the roof, as did my pulse. But it could have been the fact I was using thinners the day before, cellulose thinners. That is not kind of some kind of diet. thing. Uh, Adam is doing well, thanks, despite spending many weekends in confined spaces working with resin and fiberglass. That sounds like sort of Michael Barrymore's dream evening. Sorry, I was just thinking of Michael Barrymore because Pingu posted something very funny on the Beards and Bangers uh, Facebook group, sorry, about an hour ago. So if those of you, I have got a Facebook group. It's called Beards and Bangers, funnily enough. So if you're on Facebook, do feel free to join it just by searching Beards and Bangers and go to the group, not the page, because I don't really update the page anymore. Because I really like the way the group's a bit more community oriented, where people can post and you can see who's who, and you can give, I don't know, awards. I believe I will have to do that at some point. Oh God, I've done it again with the bloody mouse cursor. Dewberry flip flop. Let's go back up here so I can read these comments. Matt says COVID should be an included bug on I'm a Celebrity. It should... oh, Matthew, man, what would we do without you? What would we do without you? And Simon expresses his feeling at being made a moderator of this chat. Oh, the responsibility. And Adam encourages Simon to go power mad. Oh, yeah, Simon's going power. You get a ban, you get a ban, and you get a ban. Goodness me, all this banning. Matt has fitted a cooker in the streetwide, so now it's a Range Rover. Boodump. I don't know who's seen. There's a video that Matt shared in the street, the year 2024 year that's right. And we'll come on to 2024 because there's so much happening next year already. I need to get one of these great big wall planner things because I just know I'm going to double book myself or overbook myself or be unrealistic. So yeah, we'll come on to 2024 because it's going to be 2024 in just over a month's time, which scares the living daylights out of me. This year, I don't know how everyone else feels, but I feel 2023 has just disappeared. 1 minute it was dark evenings and miserable and cold. Now it's dark evenings and miserable and cold. And then there's this summer bit in the middle, apparently. But it just seems to have vaporized into thin air. Pure Evil was timed out for 99999 hours, moments away from this. Is that what happens? You get timed out if you're a naughty boy on a live stream. Pingu says, "Can you pass on to Ernest that I found his interview with Hubnut and Angry Driver Trez entertaining?" Yeah, Ernest is. I will certainly tell him that. Yeah, he's got his own way of interviewing people. But yeah, thank you for the feedback. Simon's going mad with power, says Matt. Hopefully, it's not X Power to make an MG joke. Really bad one. Pure Evil. So Adam will soon have some R3 patterns all to himself, and I won't elaborate on that. I will let you do that if you want. But let's just say, if anyone's got an R3, Adam is going to be someone that many of you will want to know. Matt says, Pingu says to Matt, very posh Matt, are you going to snub us OGs? Now you are an elitist. In reference to Matt's, if you put a cooker in a streetwise, it becomes a Range Rover, which I think is a phenomenal joke. Simon says, everyone must love Bram. He's a charmer. He is. He's got his little foibles, but you've driven him. Austin's driven him. Once he's fully fixed up, once I've got him where I want him, then I'll be pimping him out, I think, a little bit to people. I think Furious Matt has agreed to drive him, but I wouldn't let him anywhere near it at the moment because A, it hasn't got an MOT, and B, it's he's quite in depth with his reviews. So yeah, we want him to look. We want him to be looking at his best. Um, and Pingu comes up with another hashtag street range. Simon says Bram and Jenny need to meet up next year. They do. We can have a that could be a Norman and Ernest video that we've sometimes talked about, which I shan't reveal because it would spoil it for the viewers. But yeah, Bram and Jenny definitely need a play date next year, and it would be nice to take Bram on a decent cruise. So I might book myself a little holiday up in Yorkistan next year, and we can have a little car play date up in the nice places in Yorkshire. Stephen S. Paul is here all the way from central United States of America by saying hello, children of the realm. GB, that's us. Hello, Stephen S. Paul. How are you? Pingu's little Norman just clocked 50,000 miles today before I hibernate him for the salt season. Salt season has definitely started. Luckily, a mate of mine works for Buckinghamshire Highways or Transport for Buckinghamshire, whatever they keep rebranding themselves as they change ownership now that they're privately owned rather than council owned. So I do get tipped off as to when the salt's going down. I think at the moment with the weather like this, the salt's going down every day. I'm supposed to be going to a charity car thing on Saturday in Stratford upon Avon. And I'm just like, what car do I take? Because whatever I take is going to get caked in salt. So the only two cars I've got with me at the moment are Penny, the lovely Penny, is parked outside the front of the house, and Husley. So I'm thinking I'll take Husley because Husley is going to have some body work done in April. I don't know if Austin, you're still there. I think the MOT is April. When did you MOT it last year? Can't remember now. So yeah, so probably yeah. If any car's going to get salty, it's probably best it's Husley, simply because it has had some wax oil and work done in the last 12 months. So it's probably a bit more protected. Penny, I don't think's had any wax oil lovingly rubbed over her underside yet. I will let you think about oil and Penny Mordaunt and undersides. For those of you who like, I know not all of you like Penny Mordaunt, but I know some of you do. So yeah, just let that thought linger. I certainly am. But good old little Norman, 50k, barely running, but Pingu looks after his cars. He's going to put it away so it's not near any of that nasty salt that the people put down on the roads. And Simon likes that about little Norman. He would, because obviously Norman is, a name that's very close to Simon's heart. Adam makes a comment about Simon's BRM meetup, saying we have a BRM seats meetup because some of you have got BRM seats in your car already, like Adam, and some of you are going to have BRM seats in your cars, like Simon. And if any of you watch Simon's live streams, you will see that they are now an ever-present backdrop to Simon's live streams, which is, I think, very lovely. It's like having a gentleman's club in Simon's spare bedroom, which sounds a bit of an earnestism, but we will move on from that very quickly. Ross is here. Good evening, Ross. I am back. I am well. I haven't got a bunged up nose like when I saw you. So Ross came over from Australia at the beginning of this month and did a tour of England. So I think you down in Bath, weren't you, Ross? And you obviously met me and Simon at the NEC, and you did some filming for Norman and Ernest, and you went up to see Paul. Yeah, so it was really lovely to meet you. Let me say, we have these live streams. So obviously Ross is over in Melbourne. Whatever, how many hours ahead? You were 10, 9 and a half, 10 hours ahead time wise. He comments on my videos. He's a channel member. He's the I think he's the first channel member when I went monetized back in the spring. Um, Chat on Facebook, and then met up with him. Never met the guy before, in face to face, yeah, virtually, absolutely. And you think something like that would be surreal. Um, for me, it wasn't. I don't know how you felt, Ross, but Simon Ross and I met up in the Premier Inn right by the NEC in Birmingham, and we had a few drinks, nice dinner, and it just felt you feel like you just met this person for the first time, in the flesh, but you feel like you know them because you had these interactions. So this is why, yeah, people say, oh, technology is making people less friendly and more insular and blah, all these negative connotations around technology, social media. But actually, if it brings people together, which it does, that's a good thing. It's only a good thing. So yeah, but really good to see Ross. Yeah, and now I've got no blocked nose, so I hopefully sound more normal rather than that. Where we got to? Just skip. I've just jumped the comments again because I'm technologically foolish. There we are. Got to Ross's comment. Stephen has also so Matt. Oh, I have to take my glasses off. There's a lot to read here. Matt says, just as we wrapped up filming at our start location, a huge off-road camp drove by us, all labelled up for following on social media, but no one had a camera out. That tells me it didn't want to be filmed, or you didn't want to feel it. Pingu says you have to be very careful with those purple piles, Rob. Purple piles. Well, I say. Julie's here. So don't put pressure on your blood. Let it breathe. Peace and love, bro. Peace and love too, Julie. No, I take blood pressure medication, and I wasn't taking enough, basically. And I tried to get a GP appointment at my surgery, which is 2 minutes walk from my house, for 2 weeks to sort my sinuses out. I eventually had to play the system, and by doing that, the secret is, if you need to speak or see a GP, you ring 111 when your doctor's surgery is closed. So in my case, after 6:30 in the evening or at the weekends. So I rang 111 on a Saturday morning, spoke to a doctor on the Sunday morning. So even that took 24 hours to get a phone call back, and I had a prescription late on the Sunday morning. And I've just got a simple steroid spray just to basically prevent this swelling in my sinuses that makes me sound like all bunged up and yucky. So yeah, but yeah, and then yeah, that same day I was cleaning some. So I've got some. I think it was Pingu very kindly put me on some brand new OEM Streetwise wings, which were just down the road from me in Cowley. And I whipped over there immediately and got them, and I've been painting them. So, but yeah, but I had to do a bit of cleaning first, and I was using cellulose thinners, which are quite strong, and I think I probably overdid them a little bit. Yeah, I think more tonic is what's needed. Sorry, I shouldn't say things like that. Shouldn't joke about things that are dangerous. So yeah, yeah, that led me then to go to A&E because my heart rate was so high and blah blah. Yeah, anyway, enough about that. I'm always moaning about my health, aren't I, on these live streams? I'm relatively healthy, other than a couple of genetically or inherited conditions, high blood pressure and high cholesterol being the two. Matt says Pingu nailed it. I don't know what he nailed it to though. People saying hello to one another. Simon Jeffries of the Norman Butler variety has had Henrietta for nearly 1 year. Is it that? I can't believe that. So that shows how this year has just disappeared. Um, and Henrietta is turning into a very nice car. I've driven her. She drives well. Simon's really taking good care to, get the car into a good state. Keep on top of any little issues with it, but also putting his own personality into it as well. So yeah, it's nice to see Henrietta's progress. I can't believe that's nearly a year. God, man, where's the year gone? And then Stephen S. Paul, probably it's very timely. It's one of my topics I want to discuss tonight. 2024 year of the Streetwise, and Stephen encourages us to remember that. So first, we've got to, Matt was kind of the organizer of the Facebook group and various other things, and I think it was Pingu and Matt. That's where it came from. The idea, and it started out as something quite not a joke, but something quite light-hearted. But it's actually become a thing, and we've had stickers made, and we've sold some stickers, and we've been discussing stuff with the MG Car Club. So year of the Streetwise. So next year, so 2024, as well as being year of the Streetwise, is also the 120th anniversary of Rover producing cars. It's not the 120th anniversary of Rover as a company, because they were making bicycles, push bikes, since the end of the 19th century, but their first car rolled off the production line in 1904. So next year is Rover 120, and it's also the 100th anniversary of MG. It's a very movable feast, because obviously there were a lot of events this year celebrating. So some people say it was 1923, so when Cecil Kimber basically he was running a garage in Oxford for the Nuffield Corporation, or Morris Motor Company, and he was the manager of one of the sales offices in Oxford, and he started tuning Morris's. Sorry, so I think the first MG, the first car with the MG on it, but not the Octagon, is a bullnose Morris 8 bullnose Cowley, very attractive vintage car. And it's got the Morris badge, but it's got another circle round the badge saying MG something Abingdon on Thames. But yeah, so the anniversary of MG could arguably be any time between 1923 and 1929. But I think some people are saying no, 1924 is actually when they started. So it's probably something I'll do a bit of research on and do a bit of a video on at some point, because it's something that interests me greatly. So yeah, but MG 100, Rover 120. So year of the Streetwise has been invited to be part of those celebrations. So I don't know if Simon's videos come out of that day yet. In fact, I think it has. Mine certainly has. So Matt, Simon, me, Austin, we went to Studley Castle in Warwickshire at the beginning of October, I think, early October, and lovely day. So yeah, Matt was in his. So they'd asked Matt to bring his Streetwise to represent the Streetwise. They got lots of different Rovers, lots of different MGs there. There was I don't probably no vintage MGs, but there were certainly some lot of classic MGs there. So including a probably the oldest MG was 1950s TF. So the old TF. There was MG6. There was an MG6, an MG3, so much more modern. I think it must have even been a ZS, perhaps controversially. But yeah, so so Matt Streetwise, my BRM, Austin 75 were part of it. So you'll see if you find the Facebook page. I think it's simply called 120 Years of Rover and 100 Years of MG. You'll see a drip feed of photographs coming in, but I think that there's an initial meetup in March. This is why I need to get a planner, because I'm getting invited to and seeing all these events for next year, and I'm just going to lose track of it. So I think a wall planner is going to be a good friend. So yeah, Pride of Longbridge. Hoping we have a year of the Streetwise stand at Pride of Longbridge. Chiltern Hills Rally, which Austin and his dad are major organisers of. I'm on the committee, but I don't do anything. No, I'll sort of kick into action over the over sort of Christmas break, finding volunteers to help. But yeah, but hoping Chiltern Hills Rally's 19th of May next year. So if any of you, any car can come to that, as long as it's vaguely classic, so up to 2005, 2006, something like that. Excuse me. Um, um, yeah, please come along to that. It's £10 a ticket if you pre-book it. It's that includes a car, driver, and passenger. So that's pretty good value. That's the car plus two people. Whereas if you turn up on the day and pay, it's £10 for the driver and the car, and then £10 for every passenger. So you do save money by booking it in advance. But yeah, have a look at the Beards and Bangers Facebook group if that's easy to remember, or the Chiltern Hills Vehicle Rally Facebook group. It's on there. I think I posted it in Smashing Pistons and Year of the Streetwise as well. All this social media. It's yeah. Where are we up to? Simon asks, any Miranda news? She's looking pretty sweet. Yeah, she is looking pretty sweet. Had a couple of inquiries. I think it'll probably get more inquiries once I get the MOT done. Which may have happened. I don't know. I've not really caught up with the garage today. So yeah, I think once people will. I know if I look at a car, and I'm not going to hide the registration number. I can't see the point in doing that if you're selling a car. It's silly. I think, certainly when I look at any car, the first thing I do is find the number plate on the advert, whether it's on Facebook or wherever, and I'll look at the MOT history because it tells you an awful lot. So I think people are probably waiting to see the new ticket go on it. But I think just experience from this year, cars don't sell that quickly. Apart from the Rover 216 I sold earlier this year, the R8, that sold in 5 days. So I think I probably undersold that slightly. Or I sold it at the right person came. I put it on the market at the right time because the guy who bought it knew exactly what he wanted. And it didn't have a driving license, it turns out. So I wonder why he didn't drive the car away. His friend did. So a couple of inquiries. I'm not in a rush to sell it. It'd be nice to get it gone. But yeah, she's looking good. I've got to chuck some floor mats in it. One thing I didn't do is I've got some new floor mats, some proper Rover 75 floor mats to go in her over the next couple of days. Coming to the Shire, I'll do a Yorkshire trip next year. There's enough folks up there that I know who I can have a bit of time up there relaxing and also catch up with some of you good peoples as well. Because being in the middle of the south or the north of the south, as I think we joked before in here, it's I'm a bit further down, but it's not too far to get anywhere really from where I live. 2023 has flown by for Pingu. Must remember to scrap my Tourer on New Year's Eve to be ready for Yachts 24. Don't scrap your Tourer, Pingu. Just because the year of the Tourer ends doesn't mean you have to scrap them. It's not, doesn't. And we've got to start thinking about 2025 and 2026. So, if anyone has any suggestions as to what should be celebrated in those years, I think 2025 could be the year of the Rover 25, which makes sense. But 2026, what's going to happen in 2026? Write your suggestions here. Obviously, I can't comment on them because the dark monks will look at your comments and I don't know what they're looking to Raven's blood and stuff like that, and the the year that what needs to celebrate that year wills itself to the Dark Monks. Very very clever. Um, oh dear, I've jumped the comments. I must. What I'm doing, I keep pressing the. I've got my laptop's a touch. It's got a touch screen, and I keep just hitting the wrong bit, so that goes to the. It scrolls right to the bottom of the page of comments. Where are we? Where are we? Where are we? My God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Um, Mark's going to sawn his MX5 tomorrow. Yep. Get it. Get the MX5 away from the salt. Ross asks if I sold the 75 Connoisseur SC. Hopefully, I've already answered that. And Pingu says Penny Mordaunt's headlining. Yeah. We haven't heard much from Penny lately. It's all been about Lord Cameron. Yeah. That's all I'm going to say on the matter, to be quite honest. Matt says light grill deal done, which is excellent. Hope is going to look. I mean, Hope's already looking fantastic. Simon's done the spoiler and done some work around the rear, as it were. And Matt's bought Carl's addendums. They look ace. Yeah, I'm about to get my addendums refurbed. Courtesy of Austin, not courtesy of Austin, but thanks to Austin, he's found a place to take him to. I'm going for silver, just standard silver sparkle. I think they'll pop because the green, having sprayed, having worked with my hands on the Streetwise wings, or one of the wings. I finished one wing. I'm just videoing doing the other wing. Done a bit tonight actually. It's really quite a dark green. It's a lovely color. Aquamarine or Goodwood green, depending on which car it's on. Same color, but two different names, depending whether it's on a TF or a Streetwise. Rare color, very lots of sparkling. There's lots of glitter all over my shed floor now because there's lots of silver sparkle in the paint. But not in my lungs because I've been wearing a respirator mask because I'm a good boy. Yeah, quite. So I think just silver sparkle is going to look good. But yeah, Matt, Hope's going to look fantastic. You are truly getting some lovely pictures at the moment. Mark saw an unusual R8 near Fakenham, pre-facelift Silverstone, BBS style alloys. Interesting. Color-coded mini whale tail spoiler and Silverstone decals on the grey door bottoms. Maybe a dealer special. That does sound interesting. I've not seen an R8 matching that description on social media or at any shows that I've noticed. But we'll have to keep it. That's a good spot, and we'll have to keep an eye out for that one. There's that blue I don't know if it's a 420 or a 416 Tourer that's very slammed and it has gold BBS. I think it's got BBS wheels. That gets around a lot of the shows. I've seen that one a few times, but I've not seen a grey one. So that's folks, keep an eye out for that car, particularly if you're around the Fakenham, which I think is Norfolk, or Suffolk, around there somewhere. I know that's where you work all around that neck of the woods, Mark. So I know it's in East Anglia. Matt says Light Grill Deal the sequel. This time they exist. Hopefully, he says. Simon says Simon exalts. Actually, he's not saying anything. He's exalting something. It has been a really good year for community this year. All excited for next year. Yeah, it's been a good year for community this year. It has. It really, really has. Loads of contacts and friends made. But next year's going to be even busier, pal. So get your sleep in now, because I think we're going to be pretty busy, all of us, next year. Ross felt like Norman and Ernest's long lost worker mate from Longbridge. Um, were you so? Are you saying you were kind of like a gibbering wreck at the end of it? Because that's probably what Norman and Ernest's colleagues were like after spending time with them. I hope Ross, that you weren't a gibbering wreck after filming with Norman and Ernest. Yeah, um, but yeah, it was good fun doing that. I'm sure some of you watched the crankcases video. Now all the NEC ones are out. There won't be video this week from the crankcases. So um, unless Simon and I suddenly meet up and just do another car park improvisation, that was good fun as well doing that. uh, Adam says, same here. Big plans next year, lots to do and things to visit. There is, and I think the further we move away from the pandemic, the more people are getting back into stuff and coming out of their shells. So yeah, it's all good. It's all really good. I say, just got to plan it because I'm sure I've got this in my head that there's some meetup in the new year that maybe Matt's organised or Matt's part of, and we're supposed to be going to Longbridge. And I don't know the exact dates. I've got to start actually writing this down, but not on an electronic diary because I somehow struggle with those. Not I use the one for work, and I'm very good with my one for work, but for my own stuff, I'm not very good with the Gmail calendar because it doesn't seem to sync between my iPhone and my laptop, which I kind of need it to because that's the whole idea of having this synchronization. But so good idea, Simon. Yeah, we should have worked that into that actually. Yeah, we perhaps can do that with through the power of the internet. Have a Longbridge reunion with Norman and Ernest hosting it and inviting former colleagues along to it. There we are. That's an idea, Simon. Um, Ross reckons it would have been in the Scottish Roots factory building the Imp. Oh, Piggy meant purple pill. No, 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 not with don't need purple pills a penny. Let me tell you. And Simon says that Streetwise made your heart flutter. It did. It did. Um, Simon says, "Have I checked out the 309 in Quakeney? I have. I know the one you mean. Yeah, it's kind of parked at an angle in a hedge. But yeah, I'll have to go and have a little chat. I think it's probably a 306. I'm sure it's a 306. But I will get up that way at some point because I'll need to go to Austin's work. I'm sure at some point in the next week or so. So I'll go that way, which is just a little loop. But yeah, I know it's on the Granborough Road. I know where it is. But yeah, I might make inquiries because once Miranda sells and once the ZTT has sold, even though it hasn't gone anywhere yet, because the ECU decided to fry itself. Yeah, but yeah, I'll be down to 3 cars, which that's kind of nosebleed territory for me. Mark says Classic Wheels Wales. That's Mike. Had a Streetwise for sale. Is it in the community? Yeah, I don't know if he sold it. I know he's dropped the price. I think it's a diesel, so very tunable. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't need another Streetwise, but I think the problem is there's a few Streetwise for sale at the moment. I know another diesel one has come up did it come up this week up in Simon's neck of the woods? And there's always a few Streetwises for sale. But we'll talk about this in a year's time because the values are gonna go. I mean, look at the price of Taurus this year. Astronomical increases. Yeah, there is a guy looking for a three-door diesel, isn't there? I can't remember his name, Simon. Yeah, the three-door yeah, three-door diesel. I mean, that I can understand why someone would want that because they're very nice looking cars. If you saw my video of Austin's 1.4 that he sold now a month ago. Um, the lowered one, they do look nice in three door. I have to say, three door R3. I love. One of my favorite looking cars ever. Um, Maybe it is a 309. Maybe it is a 309. I need to drive up there and actually stop rather than just driving past it and going, oh look, there's a car parked in a hedge. Rover Joe's here. Good evening, Rover Joe. Um, the Streetwise model turns 21 in 2024. That must be it. It's coming of age. It's true adulthood. Um, yeah, I might have to go and rescue that 30 Peugeot, whatever Peugeot it is. I need to go. Yeah, yeah. People say hello to Rover Joe. Matt was absolutely thrilled to find out that Hope was in the video they took. Yeah, so the Rover 120 MG 100. So that's being that instead that whole event next year is being run by the MG Car Club slash the Z Register. But the Z Register is one of the so the MG Car Club is the Abingdon based MG owners club. It's not the MG. The MG owners club is a different club, but the MG Car Club has lots of different registers. So the guys that I know well are the guys that run the Z register. So that's obviously the ZR, ZS, ZT. But they also are very interested in the equivalent Rover models. So yes, this event that I've mentioned and Matt's referring to is run by those guys. But yeah, do check out the Facebook. I think it's a Facebook page. I think it's a group. But I know they're drip feeding photographs, and I think they'll really start things off. I was going to say in earnest, but I don't think Ernest would like that very much, or maybe he would. But they were going to start things off properly next year. But yeah, but there was a teaser trailer video made by I forget his channel name. He's a nice chap called Jake, and he made a video of the photo shoot. And there's a really good scene in it of Matt pulling into the car park in his Streetwise, and Hope just looks fantastic in that video. Simon says Chilton will rock. It will. Regardless of year of the Streetwise, beards and bangers, smashing pistons, all that stuff. It's a cracking show anyway, and we think it's going to be a record year for club stands. So the MG Owners Club, Dunstable branch or something, or some Bedfordshire branch of the MG Owners Club. They normally rock up. The Chrysler, I've got to get the right Chrysler Crossfire Owners Club turn up, and you get about 8-10 Crossfires all lined up, which is quite nice. Quite a car I quite like actually. So it'll be a good show. Ross says to Matt, so Streetwise is having a 21st next year, worth having a party for. Absolutely, Ross. Yes. I've jumped the pissing comments again. There we are. Stephen S. Paul says, lots of old Morris stuff over here in the yards at work. Lots of Oxfords from the early 60s. The oldest Morris we have, wow, is a 1938 Morris 8 Series E four-door. It's an actual left-hand drive car. So the Morris stuff did get over to the States. So Morris was, I guess, it was probably the Ford of England, wasn't it? Because they were pretty not ordinary cars, but they were cars that were affordable for some people. Not everyone, of course, can afford a car in the 1930s. But that's absolutely fantastic to hear. You got stuff, 60s Oxford, which are lovely looking cars, but also a 38 Morris 8, and they're proper nice vintage cars. Um, Simon makes an interesting comment. R8 seem to be very popular for some reason. I don't. He doesn't see it himself. I I prefer. I mean, I think everyone's. It's probably no secret at all that my favorite kind of modern classic is the 75 stroke ZT. I don't know what gives that away, but it is. But I do like the R8s. There's not one I don't like, I have to say. But yeah, not my favourite modern Rover, but yeah, I do like them. But yeah, I guess I can see why people wouldn't like them. Um, Simon says the replica land speed record MG ZTT is for sale again. That's been for sale for bloody yonks, along with that chuffing trophy yellow ZT. I think it's a one. It's pretty. I think it's even a 190. It's like a 120 or something. And the guy says it's a really rare color with a really rare number plate, so it's worth 5 grand. Well, advertising for what you want, mate. But yeah, I've actually now blocked that person from. I don't want to see any feeds from them because it just gets. I think it gets on everyone's goat. Yeah, that Bonneville Salt Flats replica and the trophy yellow ZT are the two that seem to be constantly advertised for sale. And Mark says R8 nostalgia for the right people. Yeah, it's a very personal thing. Rover Joe says 2025 City Rover. Lol. Which city are we taking a Rover to? Oh, you mean? Oh God, not that bloody City Rover. Moving on. I'm sorry, I can't get enthusiastic about a barely rebadged Tata Indica. Yeah. For me, it's not going to happen. I don't know. They'll probably be. I can see someone like Hubnut doing it. Getting a city. It's sort of very very much a Hubnut kind of car. But yeah, it's certainly not something that I will be making a project of ever. Sorry, Joe. Uh, Adam says 2025 year of the 25 from the owner of a 25. But yeah, we'll let the dark monks do their, you know, waggling their fingernails in raven's blood and all that kind of stuff, and eating the eyes of rams and whatever the dark monks get up to decide which year it's going to be. But we'll need to know, I don't know, halfway through 2024, I'd say, and that's not to detract from 2024 year of the Streetwise. Simon says the Dark Monks are very busy at the moment. Take a ticket and grab a seat. Yeah, same as GPs. Joe's 200 is off on Sawn tomorrow too. Yeah, salt season has arrived. Matt says 2025 would make a good year for the 25, or maybe even the whole R3 based range. So year of the whole R3 based. That's going to be a really long hashtag, but we can work with it. That's fine. 2026 is the 50th year of the SD1. Bloody hell. Oh man, this makes me feel so old. It's like the Rover 600 being 30 years old makes me feel old. The Austin Maestro being 40 years old makes me feel old. These cars were developed in my lifetime. Yeah, 2026 is my 49th year. So, but yeah, are SD1s attainable enough for everyone to take part? Because there's obviously a massive community, but Simon likes the thought of the whole R3. Someone actually put the hashtag for that, the year of the whole R3 range, as a make up a really humorous long hashtag, because that would be quite funny. Um, go away. Uh, Matt says Carl's addendums are study. They're not Carl's addendums anymore. They're yours. But yeah, Carl did look after those addendums. Matt and Adam perhaps sardonically comments to Matt that Matt's perhaps just trying to get the Streetwise 2 years on the trot. Is that a bad thing? Jimmy Quinn's here saying, "Good evening, Rob." Good evening, Jimmy Quinn. How are you? You've put a little wine glass symbol on there, so I'm going to have a slurp of finest scotch. Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, shit. You and Simon too. Yeah, yeah. We're all coming up 50. We're all. I think Matt is as well. We're going to be 50 before we know it. I think. Um, Whereas these young whippersnappers like Adam and Austin and Joe, they've got loads of time before they have to worry about hitting 50. God dear me. Where did we get to? Matt is annoyed because Adam noticed that he was trying to get the streetwise again. But says to Matt that Hope already looks fantastic, at least from what I saw on Saturday. Julie is here saying 2026 year of the freestyle. Brackets, people who have fun with their car, not trying to stick to what they should look like or what people think. I quite like that. That's very inclusive. And Matt says Simon's outrun video is a must see. I've seen it, and I commend everyone to head over to the Smashing Pistons channel and watch Simon's outrun video. And I challenge the BBC to watch it as well, because they should be ashamed, because they don't bring stories like that on their News 24s and all this. They're unlimited resources and they can't even do hard hitting journalism like Simon's done on his outrun video. So please, if you haven't watched it, once you've finished on this live stream, if you're still awake, then please have a little look at that little video, which is brilliant. I'm just reading. So people saying hello to one another or chatting amongst themselves. But Simon's comment, Julie, good. So like a year of mods, maybe a future thing. Yeah, maybe we celebrate most cars in 2026. Jimmy Quinn says hi to Simon, then says Norfolk. Is that where Fakenham is? I'm guessing. Year of the built, not bought, says Adam. Pingu wisely says the dark monks cannot be bribed as they are existential. Yeah, you just have to see what they come up with. Mark says that Google says R8 Silverstone was a European model. UK only had R3 Silverstone. Okay, so this is a model we need to have a little look into, because it's not one that I'm familiar with. Good info, good food for thought, young Mark, because that's something to go and get one's teeth into, especially over these winter months when one isn't driving so much. It's a good time to do these kind of researchy things, or gash yourself with thinners and lacquer in a shed. Matt couldn't even build a soapbox, but I'm sure you could stand on one and preach. Um, Simon gives a Norman Ernest update. Norman Ernest probably holiday for the winter somewhere in the Midlands, maybe a tent in a park near Longbridge. Yeah, it'd be somewhere they go at the wrong time of year, wouldn't they? When it's absolutely freezing or lashing down with rain, they go somewhere really uninteresting, like Longbridge. Matt gives clarity to my thoughts. Uh, 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 uh. Apart from I just skipped all the comments because I'm good at doing that this evening. Matt says 7th of January at Longbridge for photos, then hopefully grab lunch at a local pub. I think there is a pub on the same road as the Longbridge sign, assuming the demolition men haven't demolished it by then. Um, 7th of January, right? Yes, very good. Stephen says shells. What shells? Pingu asks anyone, is it snowing up north yet? Let someone from up north answer that. Unless up north means me, because I am north of you. Even though I was in kind of your neck of the woods today, Pingu. I was in Ashford. I stayed in Ashford last night for work, and I was in Sussex, East Sussex yesterday, and again today. So yeah, I was in the proper south the last 2 days. And Simon answers not yet. Matt says the MG Rover Unsung Midlands are joining the Yachts 24 group. Basically, Richard has organised it on my behalf. I just announced it and asked for help. If you can get people to organise stuff on your behalf, then life's easy. Joe says, gonna snow where I am in about 10 minutes according to my phone. Right. I hope it doesn't come too far south because I've got driving to do tomorrow for work. Lots of driving actually. Gloucestershire and Surrey tomorrow. So Simon, you could be getting wet, cold stuff coming down as well. Mark says is mustard and boat a 3-door. It's petrol. It sounds like a diesel. It's a 5-door, I think. And yeah, it does sound like a diesel because that K series they can sound very top endy. And you think, oh, is that a diesel? And they're not. That's it can be a typical K series trait if they're not driven enough, basically. Pure Evil, you're up that way as well, so you could be getting the white stuff too, not the Colombian variety. Simon kindly shouts at people because he's put it in capitals. Don't forget to click the like button. Please don't forget to click the like button. It's greatly appreciated. It makes me feel warm and gooey inside. The Crossfire is an SLK underneath. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Maybe they got two streetwisers. So I'll let someone who actually knows. They've got a blue one, haven't they, as well? Mustard's got a blue one. Simon would seriously race pet prep a City Rover. If I happen to own one, be prepared. Okay. Ross thinks Hubnut did get a shitty Rover. They got Hubnut written all over them, those cars, haven't they? Particularly if someone's been out graffitiing. Yeah, because they are that kind of. Because he likes that kind of Asian, not a K car, but sort of one up in size from a K car. He's kind of got a bit of a thing for them, hasn't he? The Daihatsu Charades and the Sirion and the what else has he had? All that kind of jazz. He might have had a jazz for all I know as well. Simone is here saying, sorry I'm late. You don't have to apologise, Simone. People can just come in and out as they want to. It's absolutely no problem. And it's lovely that you're here. Yeah, so Simon confirms that Hubnut did have a shitty rover. Simone, thank you for saying that about missing my lives. I'm going to try and do them one probably. Well, my thought is once every fortnight, which for me is manageable. But if people want them less often, then just say f off. Basically, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, well, we'll try and do them a bit more again now because I quite like doing them. Young Samuel is here. Good evening, Sam. How are you? Hashtag R3R here. Oh, I like that. I like that, Simon. Joe is hoping to get round to restoring the fuel tank on the Civic over winter alongside the suspension. No welding or painting this time yet. No. And I just jumped the comments once. Chuffing again. Oh, there we are. Matt will hit 50 before Hope. Yeah, that's just a fact. Pingu says, in my opinion, R8s are popular now as they have the retro wedgie style and interiors, but still can be cheap, reliable, everyday Arthurs. Yeah, they can, but they have. I think the one thing I noticed with the R8s, they have got that little touch of refinement that you probably, whilst the R3's got that lovely modern styling, which still looks actually all right today. The R8, they haven't. The R8s are probably just slightly more refined inside with the, you've got the real wood and the seats really are comfy. Maybe just a little bit more refined, and of course, half the parts and chassis in the R3 is exactly the same as the R8 anyway. So there's not a lot of difference. But yeah, I just sense that the R8 slightly more refined, slightly. Which Simon concurs are good points. And Simon confirms that Smashing Pistons bring you the news no one knew you didn't know. Exactly. Ross says, someone say hi to Simone from me. Hi, Simone. Matt's supporting Julie's notion of a kind of a fair, inclusive year. I'm not sure how fair and inclusive the Dark Monks are, though. They'll do what they do. Adam says, under the 2-decade mark before I hit 50, clearly very close. Yeah. Okay, young'un. And Matt says, surely a sacrifice is but another name for a bribe. Oh, God, my thumb keeps pressing on this stupid thing. Where have we gone? I like this. This is a good live stream because what I want to talk about, you guys are kind of naturally leading me into it, which is really good. So it's just chilled out, and I can just sit and just amplify on what you guys are saying, which is fantastic. Adam says, sounds like I need to come up with an evil plan to influence the Dark Monks. Something like that, hey? Mark remembers his uncle Claude partexed his Orange Ital. Oh, Orange Ital. That's car porn for me. That really is. Orange Ital. Let's say it one more time. Orange Ital. Lovely. For a brand new Y-plate Maestro 1.3 HLE in that awful dark beige. He was chuffed to bits. He probably would be at that period. Yeah, you'd be chuffed to go from your Ital to the new Maestro. But if it was me now, I'd be like really upset if I had to give up an Ital for a Maestro. I know it sounds weird, but I've got a thing for Itals and Penny Mordaunt, basically. Matt says snow in the Midlands. I'm just looking out the window. No snow in the South Midlands, stroke North South, whatever you want to call this part of the world. No man's land. That's what we call it around here. Still no snow in the Sheffield, Barnsley, environ. Matt says my engine sounded knackered when I bought Hope, but it was noisy injectors. Runs okay now, but eventually I will get new ones. Do you know? I think the fact you use your car daily is doing it a lot of good because some cars just need to be driven. They just need to be driven. No snow yet in Melbourne, according to Ross. Yeah, hydraulic tappets on the K series. They can get noisy. Has anyone, Ross says, has anyone, or Ross asks rather, has anyone seen the YouTube channel Tasty Classics? So good. Not seen it. We'll have to check it out. Let me just find it so I remember. Tasty Classics. There we are. Oh, can't type either. Useless. Have a little look at that one, Ross. Thank you for the heads up on that. Pingu inquires after Connie to Simone. Blah blah. Matt, I thought mine was tappets. When I put my ear over them, the sound seemed further back. Really weird, but glad it wasn't tappets. Just be careful, Matt, putting your beard too close to a running engine, because yeah, disaster. Mark says, yeah, plenty of oil changes and Italian tune-up. Italian tune-up sounds good to me. Good oil flush and some usage. Yeah, that's what they need. Arthur's. Yeah, we love Arthur's. Connie is due back on Friday. That's good. Rover Joe has a fun fact for us. HHR, so that's the Rover 445 ZS platform. Rear floor pan and an R3 front floor pan would make an R8 floor pan. There we are. Shared componentry, not completely new. So that's why the 75 is different, because it was a completely new chassis. No legacy bits and bobs from the Honda marriage. Because BMW didn't want that. Like, they wanted a whole new thing. Adam paid for the whole rev counter. I'll use a whole rev counter. That's the way, right? Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Simon says, who has winter wheels and do you run winter tires on them? No. But anyone else is fine to answer that. I see yeah, frost. I see slippery roads as a incentive to drive properly, not that's my view. Matt says Arthur should have been a term for daily drivers years ago. It's so appropriate. It is. Sam asks how my business trip went. That's very kind of you to ask, Sam. It went well. It was successful. I managed to get everything done I needed to do and more, and made the people who had serious issues with their leaky buildings know what they've got to do to put them right. So it was a successful 2 days in Sussex and Kent and Surrey. I did see someone in Surrey actually as well. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Sam, for asking. Tasty. Oh, we have to look at Tasty Classics. Ben from Tasty is brilliant. Oh, it's actually Tasty Classics UK. Right. Okay. Correction there then. Tasty Classics UK. We'll look into that further. Matt was a bit worried about the damp floor in Hope, but I think it would be daft to be overly concerned. Unfortunately, a long day can sometimes push us towards thinking of the negatives. Yeah, jeepers. I mean, 20-year-old cars, they're never going to be well, they can be perfect, but if a car of that age was 100%, would you drive it? Um, I think that the danger with making a car too good is that it turns into a museum piece and you end up not driving it. If you do take it to a show, it ends up going on the back of a trailer. And I get that with some if you've got something, if you've got like a very early Lamborghini Countach, kind of get that. I kind of don't as well, because if you've got a car like that, you should be making that wonderful noise. But yeah, no, cars shouldn't be perfect. And if they're too perfect, I think one would be too precious about everything. Simone will be doing an update on Connie, which is great. Look forward to seeing that. Simon has a Rome 57, which means it's like the Rome 75, right? Yeah, racing edition. Yep. Matt's carpet. Sorry, Matt feels dry on the. Sorry, you're talking about the car or yourself? Matt says feels dry on the carpet now, but I'll still be hoping to get the corner lifted to check the underside is dry. One thing I tend to do is I'll nourish the rubber with either there's a German stuff. It's actually I think it's in Bram's glove box, but it's like a rubber nourisher. So rubbers, I read somewhere that rubber's a bit like leather, in that it kind of needs, like, if you buy a decent pair of shoes, you polish them or you rub leather cream into them to keep that leather in good condition. And I think rubber's very much the same. So I know with Bram, I treated all the rubber with this stuff just to kind of nourish it, and it did seem to help a little bit. But I just think Rovers are leaky cars. Yeah, I know the Husley's boot is still damp, even though I've changed the light gasket, so it's coming in somewhere. It's not obvious where though. Yeah, Adam confirms that Simon's Rover is lighter. And Simon also looks forward to Simone's video. Matt says, a Road 57, saucy. Pingu says, I have some winter tyres for my Cupra. Even though they're quite warm, they still notice better in wintry conditions. P.S. I got wheel spin going from third to fourth today in my Streetwise. That's because Streetwise is a badass cars. Pingu, that's the Simon replying to Pingu. Yeah, I think a front wheel drive diesel should be pretty. If you take Henny out, should be okay in the snow. I know I had great fun with the BMW last year. I must admit, I did turn the traction control off a couple of times. Pingu said that surprised him. Initially thought the clutch had expired. Yeah, clutches. I'm just worried about Penny with her additional power. I've not driven her for a couple of weeks because I've got her parked about the front ready for some work. So there'll be a bit more of the Penny series happening. So once I've got a video I'm making at the moment, just spraying these wings up. I have to say I'm quite pleased with the wing that I've already done. Apart from one little run in the clear coat, but I reckon I can just flat that once the panel's on the car. I can flat it back with some very, very, very fine wet and dry, and then buff it up, and I think it'll look all right. But I'm pleased with how it's gone. I really am. 'Cause I can't round here getting paint done. It you know it's best part of a grand for one wing. It's just not as much as I love my streetwise. It's get having that panel sprayed is probably worth more than the car. If I don't know what Penny's worth now, but certainly more than I paid for her. But yeah, so I'm about. Plus, good skill to learn. I have to say, I learned a lot from Simon when Simon came down to help me with Miranda. Well, not help me, did all the bloody work. Uh, a month or so ago, it was real good. Just a couple of things I wasn't quite sure on. That's just filled in the blanks in the old grey matter. Adam says, better to have these cars live and be imperfect than keep them perfect and then live. Exactly. That's my kind of ethos with cars. Matt finds it so amusing that people stop to look at Hope or even talk to me if I'm stood with her. The Scottish lady who stopped on Saturday was rather nice. It is nice, isn't it? When you got a car that's now quite rare or rarely seen, shall we say? It's just those kind of random conversations. It's really nice, really nice. Rojo found the leak on my 25. I'm going to probably intend on doing an ultimate guide on how to make your R3 watertight. Do it. That'd be a lot of people want to watch that, me included. And Rojo asked me which car is leaking on my collection. Rob, it's the ZT190. The boot is quite damp. And it's not the rear light seals because I've done those. Any sort of common spots where water can get in those boots, let me know because it's be good to get that car dry because it's got a new. I bought a new boot carpet for it, and it's a car that I'm kind of fairly proud of, Husley, given the crappy state he was in when I got him. Dinosaur Dad says my current fleet totals 1.05 million kilometers. They all run regularly, obviously. Yeah, that's a serious amount of kilometers. No idea what that is in miles without using a calculator. Pink says apparently WD-40 is good for rubber door seals. Yeah, asking because WD-40 some kind of fish oil or something like that. Matt says new neighbour got out of her car today, said to her friend, I just can't park. Sorry, is that a good impression? I'll go and get him. I'll have to do it. Why do these people insist on parking near my car? Yeah, we should have maybe have like a rubber ring. That could be a new mod for Hope. It's like just this kind of getaway kind of barrier. Stephen S. Paul says, anyone need a yellow and black 55 Sunbeam Rapier? Nice. Sunbeam Rapier convertible. Runs interestingly enough. Leaks oil and more. Yeah. Comes with spare front fenders and a hood. Lots of trim. And stainless. $800. Wow. I'm actually going to have to research, just for fun, how much it... I know Furious Matt obviously imported his Crown Vic, and by the looks of it, got diddled, given the rot in the sills. But it'd be interesting how easy it is and how expensive it is to import a car from the States to the UK. I'm thinking it's easier to do that, so bring a car from the States to the UK than the other way around. I think I'm right in saying it's a bit of a hassle to get a car from the UK to the States now. I know it is for Australia because I've had a couple, obviously Ross and another Australian subscribers. We've had a kind of a chat about it before. Simon says Hope is a proper lady magnet. Lady magnet. Ping says Penny must be worth at least 3.5K now. It's famous. Yeah, and it's got cloth seats. Matt says she left. Oh my god, she literally left it 2 feet from the curb at the back and almost on the pavement at the front. I thought modern cars kind of park themselves. My van parks itself if I want it to. I don't actually like it. I find it quite unnerving when the van basically drives itself. But yeah, I thought every car had all the bells and whistles now. Maybe they don't. I don't know. Hope is priceless. She is. Joe, I was going to say, check every single seam around the boot. Check for micro cracking in the seam sealer. Good info, young man. Thank you. I will do that. Ross asked Matt if they're sure they didn't think he was Billy Connolly. Pingu's youngest son. I've just lost the lost the comment. Where's it gone? Pingu's youngest son would like to ask you, Rob, if you like eggs. I will answer that in just 1 second. I always get a tickle when I talk too much. Excuse me. Well, Pingu's youngest son. Yes, I do like eggs. I love eggs. I think they're brilliant food. They are a complete food. I believe if you just ate eggs and drank Guinness, you'd actually be reasonably healthy. But yeah, fried, scrambled, poached, baked, eggs are great. White pepper, a little bit of salt, beautiful. Simon says ZT chrome strip can leak, and if it's like the tour of the vent behind the bumper, good info. Hope springs eternal. Simone is not a fan of WD-40. What about UB40? Yeah, it's quite a and I've been to the pub after doing some work on a car without changing my clothes, and it's the people like, what's that smell? And it's like, oh, it's WD-40. It's distinctive, a bit like Swarfiga, very distinctive smelling stuff. Bowling alley bumpers. That's what Hope needs. That's what Hope needs. And Simon obviously read my mind. I didn't read that comment, Simon. I was on the same wavelength. But yeah, about UB40. Pingu says Hope is the yacht's 24 pin-up car and must be worth at least 24,000. Easy. Louis here now. I'm not going to pick him up because you're looking a bit grumpy, but he's just come and sat down next to me. Adam has seen people on his street park by Braille before now. Literally shunted the car in front on an unrelated, I keep mine garage now. Yeah. Simone doesn't like UB40 either. Pinky says shipping a car from America costs around 4K, so it depends on the car, I guess, doesn't it? So when you're getting things like Sunbeam Rapiers for $800, then maybe it's worth it. Although my dad would turn in his grave if I ever bought a Roots Group car. Stephen S. Paul says, what about DW39, Simone? Simone likes level 42 and GT85. And Simon says that Thatcher's looks a bit weak. It is water in a Thatcher's glass. Which I didn't purloin from a pub. Honest, governor. Julie says the new diet by Dr. Rob. Gone. I would not. I would not. If they had like a full body picture of me, I would not make a good. The advert for my nutrition channel would not be good, would it? Um, Eggs and booze. To be honest, it sounds healthier than a lot of other diets. Probably is. Although eggs and Guinness in combination, you would probably not be popular given the emanations. Not you, Julie, but one. Sorry, one. I'm not casting nasturtiums. One would not be popular by one's bottom emanations. One suggests one's flatulence would be a little sulphury, to say the least. And other than people saying hello to one another, we have reached the end of the comments. We have, I think we've covered Chiltern Hills Rally, Yachts 24, Rover 120, MG 100. I've told you what I'm doing with Penny and try not to kill myself in the process. We've had a little Miranda update. We've had ZTT update. 260 update I won't tell you because we'll save that for a video. What else? Health update. I think I've covered everything I wanted to. And it's just getting back together again, isn't it? Just getting back together after a 2-month hiatus or hiatus of Beards and Bangers live streams. And Simon does point out we're 1.5 hours. Is that a hint? He's saying that's it's time to enough time to go. I probably will go because I've got to get out fairly early because it's busy. Normally, my work slows right down this time of year, but it's actually busier. And Ross is taking the hint. He's going. Ross, nice to see you on here and see you a couple of weeks ago. Good night or good morning. Stephen S. Paul is rust. It's rust free, folks, and it's left-hand drive. Also comes with lots of spare mechanical parts like carburetors, engine and gearbox mounts, spare wheels, bumpers, etc. Lots of stuff. Too much. I wouldn't know what one's worth over here, so hard to. I've got a practical classic somewhere with the price guide in, which isn't entirely accurate, but it does give one a vague kind of ballpark as to where a car should be. And Pingu-san was easily impressed. Sorry, he's not easily impressed and was impressed. Like, well, thank you, Pingu-san. You know, I do try and tell it like it is. Simone's off. Ross is off to work. Simon says Bond bugs, they're way overpriced. Just saying. And Pure Evil bids everyone good evening. Jimmy Quinn says good night. So I think we'll wrap things up. Don't forget to hit the like button. Keep an eye out on my social media and on my YouTube community feed for when the next Beards and Bangers live stream will be. Thank you for watching. You've been a lovely audience, and it's been lovely talking to you again and interacting with your comments. Goodbye for now.